Hello. Actually, director ko si Sheila sa ibang musical. So, I heard about one of the songs, Beatitudes. And ang tanong ko actually is more, ano yung songs or scene sa musical na talagang strikes you, na may impact, na you would highlight na once people go to that part, that song or that scene, dun sila lalakas yung faith nila or ma-inspire sila?
Ako yung Jesus had his temptation in the desert, but also Mary had her own temptation and was also attacked by the devil, and it showed, tumatak sa akin, and actually dun yung eksenang yun ang pinaka-intimidated ako sa buong musical kasi it showed Mama Mary's humanity. It showed the side of her that had fears and hurt, and kasi usually conceptually kita mo si Mama Mary kalmado, ang hindi lagi, but it is as an actor doon ako pinaka na-intimidate at pinaka talagang nahihirapan at nag-enjoy din at the same time kasi I am going through the journey of fears, hurt, doubts, and because she sees yung mangyayari sa anak niya, at ang dali namang to say, bitawan ko na to, ayoko na, but she's there all throughout the journey, carrying the cross with Jesus. So yun ang pinaka-tumatak sa akin kasi nakita yung side ni Mama Mary na hindi pretty. Yeah.
For me, would be yung song na kinanta namin kanina. The song with my Saint Maria and then Jesus. Because it shows na tao yun, like talking about humanity. Na tao rin sila, yung typical mom and a son, na yung how much she would care for her son, na hindi mapahamak, hindi masaktan. But then, of course, knowing Jesus na meron siyang mission, and then the reason why he came here is to save us, nandun pa rin yung concern niya and love for his son, and yet, through their faith, doon nila naintindihan, how you'd handle it. Right?
Yeah, and the strength it took, now that we're going through the journey of getting into their shoes, the strength it took for them to follow God's will is just amazing. Very, I feel so unworthy. Every time I have to go to rehearsal, I feel this unworthiness. No?
Yeah, that's true. That's why we're encouraging everyone, and especially you, to help us spread the word. Kasi this is very timely, and everybody needs to understand this para as a guide for everyone, for all the moms, for all the kids. Thank you.
And another thing, so after you go inside the musical, what changes does it make for you personally? Like, does it actually inspire you to be a better version of yourself after going through the practice?
Yeah, actually, it's every day. It forces you to get grounded, to know what you really as a person, as Anna. It forces me to listen more, to be more grounded, to be more vulnerable. This is such a vulnerable journey for me. It's an effort not to cry every time we have a rehearsal. It's an effort na, kasi ang tataas ng kanta eh. So, ang daling gumanon talaga. And it's a scary, painful, but fulfilling journey because you experience the humanity of each role and the humanity of Mama Mary. Although I always feel unworthy, there is that parang gusto mo na, kung si Mama Mary sumunod lang, sunod din ako. And what comes out of it is that I become, I guess I become more selfless. After every rehearsal, during rehearsal. Because it's hard. Every night, I'm teaching 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and then diretso rehearsal. And these people also coming from their work and all and commuting, it's tiring. But once you get to the rehearsal, there's this spirit of just helping each other and supporting it and encouraging each other. So yeah.
Siguro yung one thing that made me see during the process of preparing for it. Kasi what helps me also with it is, personally through the rosary. Parang, I asked Mama Mary to please let me in your heart. So parang it makes me see my, what I learned so far is the humility. It makes me see na I'm just an instrument, and in my nothingness and my littleness. Parang kumbaga, yeah, it really made me learn how to be humble. That I'm just nothing and this is all grace. That's what made me learn.
One thing I want to add, I like yung experience namin because very seldom na nangyari na production that they hold a workshop. And we were so blessed last Friday when we had that workshop. It made us, to open up to each and everyone, the whole cast. So it's easier for us to work as one. So yun yung part ng process na talagang feeling for us is it's a blessing already. And to know our characters, especially because usually the ensemble, because yun nga, sila yung mas maraming ginagawa na characters. Like in a split second, meron nag-iba na characters on stage. So parang yun yung pinaka-challenge. And yeah, it's a blessing for everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Next po si G. Trilliana, Malaya. Si Aisa Rep na daw, ng Tribune.
Meron lang ako bakit music museum ang venue? Because I know Magnificat is always performed in either at church. Ano ba ang purpose ng performing it in a secular venue? And the challenge in the music museum is that it's not, you don't have an audience that will really watch. Kasi may mga waiter yan na iikot-ikot, nagdadala ng kung ano-ano mga order. So yun ang malaking challenge kay Laurice. Unless of course you say, hey, stop the service. So, yun, oo. Then Laurice, how are you going to face the challenge?
Naisip ko na yun kasi isa ako doon sa mga ganong audience. Habang nanonood, wait, yeah, naisip ko na yun. Ewan ko, you cannot stop it. But it's part of the, siguro, it's, well, we perform. Gawin lang namin to the, let's say, you see that the energy, the charism of Magnificat, the play, will make them choke on their food. Hindi, pero okay lang yun. Kasi alam naman namin gano'n yung place. I mean, ako din naman, I like to eat when I'm watching. But it doesn't mean that I'm not interested. It only helps na, gusto ko nga doon dahil nakakain But then to add to yung sinabi, yung kanina, yung sagot, this is maybe the effect of the audience. Me, as a director, looking at the, from Act 1 to Act 2, yung isa sa kagandahan na maraming maganda ako natutuklasan sa musical na yon. At isa sa mga devices na gustong-gusto ko na napakalakas na ayon sa mensahe ni Nestor is, of course, when in Act 1, when the angel appears to Mary and tells her the plan of God for her to bear a son and so on, siyempre what's in the Bible, maikli lang, pero siguro at tagal nila nag-usap ng angel, pinaliwanag. And then she sings her Magnificat, be it done to me according to His will. Ang napakaliit kong tao, ako ang napili na susi dyan sa na yan, pangyayaring yan. And then in Act 2, she sings it again, the Magnificat, after all these troubles and after she saw na yung trial ni Jesus, na yung not just the temptation but the trial na magaganap na, yung bang habang nagaganap na, yung bang habang he has been captured, he has been uh, scourged, she has been crowned and then judged and then walked through all the and then nailed on the cross. She sings again the Magnificat. This time, during the fulfillment, na siyempre madali yung ganito ang plano. Okay, mahirap. O, sige lang. Pero pagka habang nagaganap, nabibiyak yung puso niya. And then she sings again the Magnificat. To me, it doesn't fail to make me cry inside every time I hear that in the rehearsals. And then I think that this should be seen, if only for this aspect, it should be seen because all of us are undergoing through the years and even in recent years, ang daming problema na. Siyempre, yung iba sa atin, marunong na lang tayong tumawa kahit ano. Pero, nandyan yan sa puso natin na mabibigat na dinadala. And yet, this is an act of faith, kumbaga of Mary, if transmitted effectively sa parang nakakabigay ng lakas ng loob sa tingin ko.
Second question. Sa lyric opera, when you thought of restaging this, did you ever think that it can be a secular musical and not necessarily religious, and therefore you can invite non-religious performers to audition for certain roles? For example, si Alisa is not a devotee of the Virgin Mary, but is a talented singer and can perform as such. Pwede ba yung ganon? O talagang prerequisite dito ang isang kailangan devotee ka o religious ka para ma-express mo yung ibig palabasin ng author nito na si Nestor Torre?
Thank you. That's a very good question. Nung in-announce po namin yung auditions, wala po kaming requirement na dapat, for example, you're a devotee or Catholic ka. In truth, some of our cast members are not Catholic. Opo. So wala through the process po, tinignan po namin mostly is how, number one, how well they sing, kasi ng opera company kami. And then we also looked at how well they act. And then after that, tinignan rin namin how well do they fit in characters in terms of how they look, the voices, yung training in a way. Tapos po, nagulat na lang kami probably kasi nung after everything was na-cast na po yung mga roles, na saka lang namin nalaman, for example, like Alisa is a Marian, she grew up basically loving Mama Mary. Diba? So, those were nice surprises which came along the way. Pero, it was never a prerequisite po.
Thank you, Aisa. Next po si Trixie Daos ng Sinsong.
Hi. So, iba dito naka-work ko before under Direct Nestor. So my first question, I guess for Sherwin, kasi you had the rights na. Yeah, I mean for
Well, the
stage.
permission,
The permission.
yes.
Ilan ba talaga yung niya? Kasi di ba laging napapansin ko sa theater, may kanya-kanya silang longest running, ganyan. So, ito ba, di ba sabi nyo dun longest running, ilang shows pa siya? Before?
Well, ang sinasabi natin, it is always being called the longest running religious
Because of the
musical.
year. Mm-hmm.
Oo, and to my knowledge, it's around 200.
200 shows.
200 shows already.
Longest running siya based sa years, kasi 20 years siya nag-run, tama ba?
And since 1996. Pero I think also because of the number of shows, pag sinabi natin religious musical.
Okay.
It's been performed kasi ang maganda with Magnificat, previously they were able to stage it in very small venues. For example, the first one was in sa living room ni Pinky. That was the first show. And then they also were able to stage it sa Araneta Coliseum. So ganun siya, it translates.
My next question is, ano yung, for Anna, you mentioned that you went through, yun nga, yung sa troubles, yung other side of Mama Mary, diba? So, was there another side of Jesus you've discovered here?
Another side of Jesus that I discovered here. Also it's also the depth of, you know, in the Bible, the temptation and all that, the temptation of the devils, the temptation of Jesus. Just the depth of like what he had to take on. Not just the physical pain, but also the pain of the betrayal, that he was being betrayed left and right by the people closest to him. And ang gumanon sa akin about it, I know of it, but I did not realize how abandoned he really felt. Yung wala talaga hanggang, nanay lang niya, but lahat ng tinulungan niya. Kaya merong isang part na nasaan yung kinanta ni Mama Mary sa kanya na patay na si Jesus sa piyeta. Nasaan ang mga dati mong kasama? Bakit ito ang hatol ng sangkatauhan? Diba, pinagaling mo ang madla, pati ang mga patay pinagpala. So, yung depth na kawawang-kawawa si Jesus na also like maybe consciously or subconsciously, sometimes I turn my head because it's just too much. But now that we're going through this journey, it's like, the beautiful thing about this musical, it's not, for me, I'm not seeing it religious, believe it or not. I'm seeing it as a musical of humanity, a musical about strength and love and perseverance and connection. That's magnificent for me. I mean, and praise and love, but it's really, I going through this now, I don't see it as religious. I really see it as a musical on strength. And by the way, now that you're talking, this was my first musical also. I was in 2000. My first performance was in October of 2000. And parang kasi napansin ko, kasi first musical din ni Alisa. And then same month, tapos yan ngayon, oh my gosh, this is the first time. I played all the roles except for Mary. So now, this is the first time I'm doing Mary, and this is her first professional musical. So it's just a wonderful blessing. Yeah.
For Miss Laurice, when was the last time you directed a production for theater, and how does it feel directing again after some time sa theater? Did you have to make any adjustments?
The last time I directed anything for theater was the opera Carmen, also with Lyric Opera of the Philippines, and also with Anna as Carmen. Alternating also. The role was alternating also with someone else. So that was the last one. That was in 2012. 12 and 13. There were 2 productions. Yeah. And so 7 years after, this is my only other theatrical project.
For everyone na lang. Since this is a religious production, sino yung religious character, kahit hindi nasa Magnificat, as a whole sa Bible, na nagmarka sa inyo, and why? Religious character from the Bible.
Cain. Mama Mary na ako. Mama Mary kasi I've always been my relationship with Mama Mary is like I know that bago kasi ako dumiretso kay Jesus, alam ko pupunasan muna niya yung mga madudumi sa akin para pag-present na kay Jesus, malinis-linis na ng konti. So I've always had that kapit kay Mama Mary and the whole family. I think, yeah. I mean, even until my father's last breath, he was just hanging on to Mama Mary's promise of kasama kita, ako susundo sa'yo. So it's a big thing in our family.
For me siguro yun, si John the Baptist. Kasi, of course, knowing na he was the one who prepared the way for the Lord. And my family also is a devotee of John the Baptist. And he's the only saint, aside from Mama Mary, of course, na parang there's, na merong 2 celebrations in a year. For yung sa birth niya and then yung sa death. Kasi usually yung death ang celebrate ng Catholic Church when it comes to saints. But then, yeah, he's one of the saints na ganun. Aside from Mama Mary, of course.
I think I'm the same with Ate Ana. It's really Mama Mary. Kasi I grew up kasi at first, initially, I was away from my mom. So parang yung need ko na yon for that motherly love, siya yung nagbigay sa akin spiritually. And also the people when I undergone a lot of trials, difficulties before, I would just go to her, and then I really felt consoled and loved. And actually, most of the people in my life, my friends, mga nuns na friends and priests, they're all devotees of Mama Mary. Kaya, she really helped me a lot. And also, she made me fall in love with Jesus more and more. Yeah, through her eyes and through her love as well. Yeah, so she's my favorite.
Ako favorite ko si Saint Joseph. He's the patron saint of my home. Kasi, lalo na, byuda ako, and then I was like, single mother, gano'n. But even when my husband was alive, Johnny was still alive, talagang, siya ang provider. Pag wala nang, sa kanya ako nang dadasal, wala masyadong, kasi tahimik lang siya eh. Diba? But he also did this, pag nakita niya na wala nang makain, may pangangailangan yung pamilya, nagpupusa siya. So, I admire him. He is the man that I admire the most.
Thank you.